Okay, I know that this is that the internet is a very reactive place, and so I'm kind of stepping in it here by even talking about this in the way that I'm going to talk about it. Um, so here we go. Do I really want to do this? Um, so this is about. I'm going to talk about the comedian. That means female comedian, which is an oxymoron. Ah, yeah, starting off strong here. Um, this woman, I don't remember her name, but uh, she's sort of, I guess, is semi big. Has sort of flirted with fame, or or is semi famous or something. Um, I get that impression anyway, even though I hadn't heard of her before I saw this clip that's now all over the place. That's gone viral and uh, being uh, being hugely downvoted. And anyway, this I'll look up her name and I'll when I use when I type in the title for this video if I choose to use this video. But she essentially was heckling somebody, was making fun of somebody in the crowd. Uh, or said there were two guys together, and she said, "Oh, you're a gay couple," or something like that. And the guy said something back to her that was pretty witty, and that was making fun of her. And then she, didn't really take it well. I'll just say that she didn't take it well. She didn't take it graciously. Uh, she took it personally, and then just went off on this guy who had gotten the better of her, that she had picked on first. Um, and I think when she was was saying, was making fun of him, it was meant to be lighthearted, but then he escalated things by responding the way that he did. At least in her mind, it escalated things to her. So yeah, it is a you know everything that they're saying about this video clip is correct. I want to make that clear. Everything they're saying about it is correct. She did respond poorly. Uh, it was a mistake to respond the way that she did, even though she got the bet, like the crowd got behind her and were like rooting her on and going, "Woo, tell him!" And then she actually got the guys that she that she picked a fight with. She actually got them kicked out, and then took one of the guy's phones and then was reading from off. Like, she just went psycho up there. It's not a pretty sight if you see this video clip. Uh, and even though it was, you know, construed at the time as like, oh wow, she put this guy in his place. Um, that like it was they when it first got out, when this video clip first got out, it was being talked about in that sort of way. Uh, Eventually, and I don't think it took very long. It just a few minutes later, when people started to process what they'd seen, they were like, well, no, she didn't really get this. Isn't really her triumphant moment. She just had a hissy fit and got her feelings hurt, and because she could dish it out, but we couldn't take it. And Yeah, so anyway, this video clip is out there, and this lady, she's catching her lumps right now. I mean, she's really like she's getting downvoted, she's getting ratioed, it's all coming down on her now. Um, and my response is similar to what my response was. I remember a little while ago when Serena Williams went off on just made an ass of herself. Like was complaining to a judge and was throwing a fit, and people were really down on her for her poor sportsmanship. And I said, I think I'd recorded a video at the time where I said, I don't sympathize with it, but I can understand it. I get how it feels, and I've been there. Um, but unlike what happened to her, I didn't. It wasn't televised. My jackassedness wasn't televised in front of the world. But I had a hard time losing when I was. I mean, I lost a lot. Whether it was just you playing youth sports, playing soccer or basketball. I was on a lot of losing teams. I lost a lot, and I was a fan of a lot of teams that lost a lot of games. Growing up in Atlanta, uh, you get used to losing, especially growing up in the '80s, and um, so yeah, so my response to this comedian and her unfortunate moment is not sympathy exactly, and but I do think this was a moment where she lost it, and uh, lost perspective, and it's I'm not sympathetic, but at the same time I am sympathetic in a way because uh, and again, this is where things will get people will say that I'm simping for her or something like that. I don't think I don't think I am, because if it happened to a guy, I would feel the same way here. Of course, if it happened to a guy, it would be covered totally differently. But that's a different story. But yeah, so I mean, I've had occasions, even recently, and I'm not going to go into detail about it. I'm not going to go into all the details about it, but I had a run in with somebody who was being an asshole. Um, but I should have just sort of shrugged it off, or just smirked and gone my way. But instead, he got under my skin. I kind of escalated things. That's all I'll say about it. And I've immediately afterwards, I felt, like God, I'm look at how old I am, and I'm still making these kinds of mistakes. I'm still a work in progress after all these years. It's really humbling. Um, you think back about when you're older, like me, you think back on uh, things you did in your youth, uh, or in your younger days, um, and how and things come back to you sometimes. I don't know if y'all are like this, y'all meaning those watching this video, but sometimes I go through these times where I am just assaulted by thoughts of it's like a cringe compilation of all these times where I did not react well, where I was put to the test and I did not rise to the occasion. You know, something happened that got on my nerves, or somebody got under my skin, and it's not about like, I'm not saying you should just be nice to people who are mean to you. I don't think turning the other cheek means that. It means that you're just a pushover. Um, I'm not even. I mean, if we want to use the turning the other cheek criteria, which I don't want to get off on that tangent, but Anyway, um, there have been so many times I just tweeted, or do you say, do you say X'd now? What do you say when you tweet something? Is it still a tweet? Uh, I just tweeted that getting older is realizing that much of your life is one long cringe compilation. And I do. I have these times where, uh, like tied to a chair, my eyes pried open, uh, like Alex in Clockwork Orange, and forced to watch all of these times in my life when you know, when I was, when I made an idiot of myself. And thank God cameras weren't rolling, And this isn't when I was like, when I was a kid either. This isn't when I was just 14, 15, 16, where you can be more forgiving. This was like when I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even. Um, yeah. So, unfortunately for this lady, um, her, this moment where she reacted very badly, um, you know, got, was videotaped, or videoed, went viral, and now, everybody's downvoting it and ratioing it. And it's not that I'm saying that she doesn't, that she, I'm not saying like, go easy on her. Because, again, boy, do, like, I hope she reads this, bro. I hope she watches this, bro. I'm sure she'll go on a date with you, bro. Now that you've made this video, I know I'll get some people thinking that, or perhaps even writing that in the comments. Um, but no, it's, like, I bet that she feels uh, embarrassment over how she handled that moment. Now, will she be able to admit that? Like, it's a lot harder. It's harder to take an L, as the youngins say today. It's harder to take an L when the whole world is watching. You get much more defensive. I would imagine that you would, when everybody, like, it's like everybody's out there judging me now for this moment of, when I was far from my best, um, when I just went off. And to be honest, I think she went off more than I would have. She got a little more psycho than I would have, but mm, no comment. No comment. I'm not gonna say what I was thinking. You're just gonna have to guess what I was thinking just a moment ago when I chose not to say it. So you can just fill in the blank there with whatever you think I was about to say. But anyway, even though I don't understand having these guys kicked out. I don't understand getting this guy's phone and trying to read from it. That's like going into levels of vindictiveness that aren't that I don't really get. But I do understand, like, taking it personally when you're on stage, when eyes are on you, and somebody puts you in your place. It's like, that's, wow, that's really humbling. And it's something you have to learn to just take it. You have to learn to be gracious about things like that. And it's not easy. I'm just saying it's not easy. That's all I'm saying. Uh, so yeah.